Hello everyone, welcome back to Base Damage, and for this week's tournament report, we do have two very interesting regionals to take a look at. The first we have is Sydney, Australia, which did happen the same weekend that me and Joe were down in Tampa, so this is a good little bit afterwards, but I wanted to show some very fun little information and a Google document especially provided by one of the lovely members of the Discord. So we got some information on this, and then we also have Jakarta in Indonesia. If I'm mispronouncing this, I greatly apologize. I've been drinking a little bit tonight, so great time to record stuff always. But I know Kutsu had said they were going to try to get me the Google document for this as well, and I hadn't got it just yet. Totally cool, no problem. Maybe later on, whenever they do get all the information for it, we can showcase it on a later video, but for now we do have the information for Sydney, Australia at least. So let's take a look at it. Obviously, jumping right into Sydney, we are, because I almost glossed over this, we are going to take a quick look over at the Bushiroad website just to check and see what decks were not allowed once again. Just, trying to stay on top of this as best I can as long as they actually provide the correct information. So for Sydney, Australia, there wasn't anything really crazy. Now, Marvel Pixar was not allowed, even though it's kind of been the same for every single one of them, so it's just kind of to be expected at this point. So, but for Jakarta, Indonesia, we did have a couple things that got hit. So here's the thing. Whereas this, for Sydney, Australia and everything, Marvel Pixar, not allowed. Completely understandable. It didn't say that down here for Indonesia, so you could technically see Marvel, Pixar could be used in it, according to this, because it's not banned. The only thing that got hit was some of the quintessential quintuplet sets, and I am too lazy right now because, once again, been drinking. Certain quints sets could not be used for this, and there's 3 different numbers posted here, so I'm guessing it's just like all quints. Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. It's just 83. So I'm so sorry. I'm a dummy. I'm a big dumb dummy. It's one specific set that couldn't be used. Future me will find out which one that is in the editing process, so hopefully we'll not be as drunk. And there were 1, 2, 3 different number sets that were not allowed. So, just something to keep in mind here. We do have a little bit of restriction on quints, just the one set, but it's whatever. So let's jump right into it. So with Sydney, Australia, first place was Nino. So they didn't have any restrictions for quints in Australia. So Nino was at full power. But once again, this is still the same exact weekend that Tampa was going on. So whereas in Tampa, we had Overlord, it doesn't seem to be any Overlord. Where Overlord won Tampa, there doesn't seem to be any in Sydney, Australia for their top 8. So we are going to check and see what, if there were any that even showed up for this. Second place was Elizabeth, Meliodas, and Escanor. This list I was kind of surprised to see. Mostly because there was no hits obviously for 7 Deadly Sins for this, but it seems like everybody had just jumped ship to the Hendrickson build. So to see Escanor come back swinging, it's like, you thought everyone had gone to Hendrickson? Who decided that? Type, like, just that kind of mentality here. Third place was a quintuplets with Yotsuba. This also kind of surprised me. Yotsuba got the most, support in the premium booster, but didn't really see, obviously Nino was probably the one that benefited from it the most out of all of them, even though everything was more intended to kind of bump up Yotsuba and Miku. Fourth place was Chainsaw Man Himeno Aki, with, this build having, restrictions and hits to it. The level 3 Aki, you can only run 2 copies of. Still really cool that they got all the way to 4th place with that despite the restrictions. Really cool. And we are going to look at the top 3 for Sydney, Australia. But I did also want to point out where no slime decks got into the top 8. We know 9th place was going to be a slime deck, but top 8 we did not see any slime whatsoever. But there are 2 slime decks that got into 5th and 6th place for Sydney, which is just really crazy. We have 8 pants for Maru and the Standby Miron. 7th place was Ayakashi Triangle. I'm so happy to see this. I really am. I like Ayakashi Triangle as like a series, and so just seeing it top is really cool. And 8th place was another Quince with Nino. So definitely a whole bunch of hits to Nino. And the thing is, there's like multiple different setups you can do for it. It's just really strong at this point. So let's look at the first place Nino deck list. So it says, let Nino cook. So, which this does include, I just looked and I saw that there was some Ichika cards in here. So I'm assuming, oh no, I was about to assume something and I couldn't. So, okay, no, this is the assist Ichika, not the change one. So the premium booster was allowed because it has this one, which was from the premium booster, as well as obviously the Foolish Burial. So they were on the level 3 from the second set. I think it was the second set. The Straightforward Feelings Climax combo, which is at the end of this card's attack, you can pay 1, pitch 1. If you have Straightforward Feelings in your Climax area, you can burn for 3. So very nice there. We do have some others. So we have, is it running it for the sake of it? Yeah, okay, Stealthy Strong Attack, which is the level 1 combo that they are definitely running. Okay, right here. I was about to say not, but no, they are definitely running it here. The Stealthy Strong Attack, which is on attack if you have the Climax in play. Look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. Pick one of them, put it on top of the deck. The rest go into your waiting room. And then this gets the following ability till end of turn, which is when the battle opponent becomes reversed. You can choose one character in your waiting room, return it to your hand. So on reverse salvage, as well as the typical top decking shenanigans that Nino is known for. So 3 copies of Stealthy Attack, Straightforward Feelings, 4 copies of, 1 copy of Unstoppable Feelings, which is with the level 2. So only 1 copy of, but hey, it worked. Which is simply, if this gets summoned basically off of the Unstoppable Feelings, you can sack the Climax to stand this, so you can have it attack the same turn that you summon it, which is really cool. So, and also like max rarity for like this entire deck is really crazy to look at. A lot of alternate arts and whatnot. Like for the restrictions, they had the of the pick 1 of 3 list, they had the Daily Routine Nino, as opposed to the Ichika Brainstormer or the level 3. No, it's level 2, but it's the Negative Soul event that Quince has. So, but really interesting, really cool, and congrats obviously to first place. Moving on to second place, the Escanor list. Not Hendrickson. They're like, okay, cool, we don't need Hendrickson apparently. Which, for anyone who is unfamiliar, this also forgoes all the other stuff that was on the list. 7 Deadly Sins now having a pick 1 of 4 list between this level 3 Escanor right here, which is just so damn strong, and 3 other level 3s, a Gil Thunder, a Dreyfus, and a Diane, which this is obviously can't use it in here. The deck name is Praise the Sun, and yes, indeed, we will praise the sun today. So for anyone who is not familiar with this Escanor, oh my goodness, this is absolutely crazy. When this card attacks, if Master of the Sun is in your Climax area and this card's soul is 4 or lower, you just have to be at 4 to be able to pay the cost. Then if you trigger and go above 4, this effect still applies, so just keep that in mind. And you have to have a full field of Britannia. You can pay 1, discard a specific level 0 Escanor, which is this one, Master of the Tavern. If you do during that attack, when this card's attack deals damage, deal 1 damage X times to your opponent. X is equal to this card's soul, which is just absolutely insane. You can easily get yourself up to like swinging into like an open lane with 4 soul on declaration of the direct attack. Pay the cost and trigger like a double crit trigger for 6 soul and just burn 1 6 times, which is just nuts. The other Climax combos being, as usual, the level 0 Elizabeth Brainstormer Climax combo. When you play the Climax, you can put the top card of your deck into your waiting room and salvage back a Britannia character equal to the level of that card or lower. So, very nice, obviously 4 of that. And 2 copies of The Trial with the level 2 Meliodas overcoming his past. At the beginning of your encore step, if this card is in your center stage and you have a full field of Britannia characters, you can sack the trial, and if you do, choose up to 2 Britannia characters in your waiting room and return them to your hand, and this gets an extra 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So double salvage off of that, really, really nice. But yeah, so it's a 6 double crit soul and 2 of the choice trigger for Escanor. So really awesome there. Congrats to the second place. Really cool there. And third place, obviously, is the Yotsuba with the Your Mate deck. Let's see. We have a couple climax combos in here because we have multiple gold bars. Really awesome here. Let's see. Feelings void of... So it's the level 1 here, which is Parting with a Memory. Okay, so it's this particular one. 4 copies of the gold bar that combos with the level 1. On attack, if Parting with a Memory is in your climax area and you have another quintuplets character, look at up to X cards from the top of your deck, and you get to choose a quince amongst them, add it to your hand. Now, depending on how many cards are in your memory, dictate how many cards you're able to dig. But I'm just gonna say, you can dig a lot. My brain literally right now from drinking, I cannot do math right now. There's a lot you can potentially dig if you have a lot of cards in your memory. But being able to basically grab anything that you need whatsoever, as long as you have enough cards in your memory, is really, really nice to be able to dig and grab. Basically craft your hand however you want. We have 3 copies of Feelings Void of Lies and 1 copy of, what is this called again? The World as She Leaps, which is... World as She Leaps is this one when that's placed into your climax area. If your level is 3 or higher and this card is in your memory, you may put this card on any position of your stage. So just being able, and she has a separate, like at the end of her attack, you can pay a cost to try to burn. But just being able to summon herself, it is just kind of funny to me. Like, it's really cool. And the other one for Feelings Void of Lies is on attack. If you have 3 or more quints in your memory, pay 1, burn 2. Just very nice. And that one was called Your Mate. So if I didn't say it before, just wanted to go ahead and show that now. So let's have the breakdown for Sydney. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Jakarta isn't a whole bunch to talk about, but it has some funny things. Some little devious shenanigans, as some people would say. So the entire breakdown for it, we have a lot of quintessential quintuplets for this. So this is the breakdown, and I'm so sorry if the names and whatnot don't show up too terribly well on this. Just focus on the pie chart, and I will try to explain this as best I can. So these are all the sets that were played, and we had 61 players in Sydney, Australia. So 10 of those 61 players were quintuplets in various forms, because they can't just say, you know, this many Nino, this many Ichika, this many Yotsuba, whatever. Really can't show that. They just have to show the set. So just saying. The next one, the next highest one was Chainsaw Man with 5 Chainsaw Man decks, so obviously one of them being the Himeno Aki, which is really cool there. Four, I was supposed to say 4 copies of, 4 of these of slime. So 4 slime decks, and 2 of those got into the top 8. So that's kind of crazy there. I'm going to stop bouncing back and forth now. 2 Ayakashi Triangle, 1 of them got into the top 8, really awesome. 3 Seven Deadly Sins decks. So I'm assuming the other ones were probably Hendrickson, that's just me. 3 Ruby, 1 Spy Family, 1 Fate, 2 Shakugan no Shana, 2 Saikano, 3 Macross Delta, 3 Hololive, represent, 2 Bochi the Rock, 1 SAO. I don't know if this is going to be like older SAO or maybe like some later anniversary shenanigans. 2 Overlord. Funny enough, the supposedly exact same number of Overlord decks that were in Tampa, and Overlord still won because Weiss Schwarz happens. Ari Ferretta, 1 copy. 1. This says none right here. There was 2 copies of none. Maybe it's just like ones that weren't registered or something. I'm not certain on that one. We have 1 Love Live Sunshine, 1 Dengeki Bunko. Maybe they were on the Mahoka build. That was really cool. Another one right here. What the hell is this? So we do have a little bit of a oopsie. Maybe something got changed or something. I don't know. 3 Avatar: The Last Airbender, 1 Gurren Lagann, my dude, even more of a represent right there. You are awesome, whoever the Gurren Lagann player was. Shoutouts to you, my dude. 1 Mushoku Tensei, 2 Oshinoko. It doesn't say, some number of Kaguya-sama and some number of Azure Lane. Alright, so that's going to be it for Sydney. And like I said, wasn't really able to showcase, or to get the breakdown for the next one we're going to talk about, which is Jakarta. But we didn't have as many players, but as always, we are always thankful to see any number of players, even if it's, just 9 people. That's still awesome to see. So we had 23 players in Jakarta. First place. You could not have told me that this was going to win. If you told me that someone was going to rock up with 8 standby Avatar: The Last Airbender and win it, I would not have fucking believed you, but sure enough, here's the list. 8 standby, and they don't even run the other standby combo. They use Siblings Agni Kai and Colors of Fire. This is the only one that they're running. It's the one that's the fucking, No, I'm so sorry. I'm blind. I was looking for Azula for this. No, I'm sorry. They do run both of the combos. I'm just an idiot. They're mainly running the Siblings Agni Kai, which is a restand, which is totally cool. No problem with that. Basically, if the damage gets canceled, the Zuko can restand. And then the other one is the Colors of Fire, which lets you summon another copy of itself with this particular Zuko and Aang. And you just get to level down your opponent's characters and just run over stuff so easily. Standby doing standby things. Very understandable. It was first time I looked at this, I was like, oh, they're not running the Azula. I forgot that the Zuko was even a card. I'm going to be completely real with you. But yeah, first place, Atla. We don't have all of the information for this, but I at least wanted to talk about it and give a shout out, obviously. So second place was also a Nino deck. Third place was an Adventure Time. Standby Door, really awesome. Shout outs to Kokurin. Fourth place was Overlord. We did have a Door Bar Overlord rocket up to this. I do want to pull this up because I want to see what changes may have been made. What is SY? I forgot about this. Is this Haruhi? Don't tell me this is Haruhi. Hold on. What is SY? Anyway, sixth place was SS Shakugan no Shana. Seventh place was Oshinoko, and eighth place was Hololive. I want to see. No, fifth. I've not drunk enough for this. Fifth place. We had, in the year of our Lord 2025, Haruhi. You know what? Whatever works. Oh yeah, they did get like a whole bunch of cards from the power-up set and everything. Are they running it? There's like a Mikuru. There's like another Mikuru level 3 or something that makes it so your opponent can't, like, do something. There's like some... Oh, well, okay. You do have this to contend with. Release of information binding. If anybody doesn't know what this is like on the ban list or something in JP. I forget. I think it was just outright banned. It's a 2-0 blue counter event. Choose one of your opponent's climaxes in the climax area. Put it into his or her waiting room. Just no climax combos for you. Really funny. Really crazy. Was it this one? No, I don't remember which one it is. There's a Mikuru that also does some, like, shenanigans. I forget. Oh, well. Okay. Really cool there. All right, let's take a look. And this list is very similar to the one that was in Tampa. I know there are variations to it, but this is very, very similar. But for this, they dropped, like, the level 1 Sebas altogether, and there's just like, okay, it's Shawl tier or nothing type thing, which I don't think this was run in the other, but it does let you choose a card amongst them, which would be like a consistency thing, even though you're dealing yourself. Oh no, you're not dealing yourself damage. You're pay one, pitch one. So did they just go to this to like try to like dig for like the gold bars and stuff? Because it just lets you grab a card, which is what the Yuri did technically, because it was like on play, draw 2, pitch one, which is you're just digging. This lets you dig farther, technically. I guess that's just the play. I'm not certain. Okay, cool. But yeah, shoutouts to Overlord. Still being in here, and there's no slime in Jakarta. Very interesting there. Apparently, he was too strong for slime. Shuna could not stand up to it, which is just absolutely insane to me. But yeah. So in the future, if more of the deck list and whatnot get revealed for Jakarta, I will put that in a future episode of the tournament reports and everything. But for now, that is going to be it for us today. Like I said, we had a neat little breakdown and everything for Sydney. Big thanks to Kutsu in the Discord. It is greatly appreciated. I am trying to suppress some yawns, so we're just going to wrap things up here. So 61 players in Sydney, 23 players in Jakarta. If you happen to be one of the people who topped with any of these decks, or even if you just went to Sydney or Jakarta, do feel free to comment down below in the comment section. Let us know where you placed, what you were running, how your overall experience was, and everything. It would be greatly appreciated. And honestly, even if you are one of the people like down here, maybe you were the Shakugan Ashana or the Hololive player, feel free to comment down below and let us know, hey, who you were, what you were running. By all means, it is greatly appreciated. We want to give recognition where it is due. And we have had some very interesting results after that ban list happened. So, like I said, I'm trying to suppress some yawns right now, so let us sign off for now. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to join the Discord if you want to join as well. We're always talking some shenanigans and everything. We do have only a handful of regionals left this year before we get to Worlds. The next ones will be this coming up week, as of the recording of this, for March 1st, which is on Saturday, for Toronto in Canada, and March 2nd, which is Sunday, for France. And I don't know if I can pronounce this correctly, and I'm so sorry. I would try if I was more sober. That is going to be it for us today. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, feel free to join the Discord, and as always, we will see you on the flip side. Stay based.